What's our purpose? What makes us happy? These are the two questions that we all ask ourselves almost every single day. And if you found it, you're on your way. If you haven't, keep searching. What I want to talk about today, and we've already heard it a few times in this speech or in this meeting, is about wisdom. So if you're interested in wisdom, pay attention to my idea of free knowledge. I'll start by sharing a little bit of my story and how I would like to share this vision in the future. But first, I'll start with a quote by Mark Twain. The two most important days in your life are when you were born and when you found out why. When I was a teenager, I loved to do two things. I loved the computer and all sorts of information. This was when the internet was booming. You could teach yourself anything you wanted. And second, we can all relate to this, is friends and socializing. We all like to have fun with our friends. In fact, that's why we're here tonight, is the community, supporting one each other. In college, I became more ambitious, and I started my career. And I started working up the corporate ladder, even found my way to Nike. And for some reason, I hadn't figured it out. It wasn't enough to success. In fact, I screwed it up. But I still kept asking the question, what is my calling? What's missing? I was a Christian, and I had been baptized about 7 or 8 years ago, but I didn't really rely on my faith to carry me along or guide me in my life. In fact, I followed my own will, and I thought I could be determined enough to figure out how this life would work. But as soon as I kept trying and failing, not really growing, then I began to pray and pray. Eat, fast, and pray. Very soon after this, I had a transformation. And God revealed to me to bridge two beliefs, both science and Christianity. At the time, I had no clue what this meant, how or what this really meant, but I pursued and I started seeking on what this was about. And I started to discover more about how God actually knew me better than I even knew myself. What I realized was, from the Christian side of view, was compassion. Being able to develop myself to help one another and swallow pride and be able to help each other. And on the scientific side was the knowledge, the creation of how we can learn in this world about and explore and share that knowledge. So that's my being and my doing, human beings and doings. God also revealed to me that I must share this with other people so they also must experience this joy. What I realized was that this is actually the formula for teaching, similar to what we do up here. Now, this might sound counterintuitive, but as a person that shares knowledge, it's similar to someone who volunteers their time or gives donations. It feels really good to give away your extra resources. So as you are a teacher, you learn a ton of material, and then you share that to other people. And hopefully you do it for free. Let me give you an example of how this wisdom works. So why wisdom? Well, wisdom is a little bit more than just knowledge. Knowledge is your gaining of information, but you have to apply it. I could give an entire speech up here about proper nutrition, that you should eat more vegetables, maybe cut out more some sugar, and you would probably take away 10% of that, of what you hear, maybe 20% if I had a presentation and you could see that. But you wouldn't really understand it well enough to pass it on, pay it forward to your kids or maybe another generation, unless you applied it in your life. Because when you apply it, that's when you actually understand it and you can describe it like a well-taught teacher. So how am I applying this in my life? Last year, I started a science club, and I learned a ton of new information along the way, inspired by Toastmasters. I found out that sharing this information brought me great joy. It put me in what's called a flow state, or a deep work. And that is if you are in a stage of 4 to 5 hours and time just flies by. If this happens, you know you've reached your passion. And me sharing that with the community has brought me great joy. So this is a cycle that you continue to go through every single week, just like Toastmasters. And then you start to gain more wisdom. So that is the journey to wisdom. You actually do something, and then you learn it, and then you share it. I also like to share this online. I have Patrick recording my video and share all my ideas, because as I learn more, there's more ideas to share. And post this on YouTube. Hopefully one day I can give a TED Talk about this similar type of idea. And I continue, I want to even start this journey even further. So this year I have started a music club. Bill, Saturday at 10 a.m. If you'd like to be a wise musician, similar formula. And God willing, this free knowledge format, hopefully I will be able to continue this journey with new clubs such as health and wellness, Christian theology, and maybe even art and a new language like Mandarin. Just imagine the possibilities if you could research new information in 1/3 of the population language that you don't have access to today. That is 3 times the amount of content of English that is on the internet. So in summary, if you want to become a wise person, don't hold back your intellect, because if you share an idea, you're going to get many in return for free. Free Knowledge Mission is the format to support you in this journey. Madam Toastmaster.